Hey, Michael Kwan here with Megatech News. We're here back at CES 2014 for our second episode of coverage. Today, we're going to be focusing on gaming, starting with some great gaming notebooks from MSI. Here at the MSI suite, I have Vince here that's going to show us through some of the great new notebooks that they have, starting with the entry level where you're giving more of a premium feel.
For those who are already aware of the G series, the backing was originally plastic, and we have actually changed the design to make it a much sleeker aluminum build. So it's a lot more solid now in regards to its design. It's a brushed aluminum finish. And as you notice, we've also added our gaming shield design to the casing, and not just for the GE series, but for all our gaming notebooks. We wanted to make a more unified family for our gaming series products. So anytime anyone sees our shield, they know it's our MSI gaming series laptops.
Yeah, and it comes with Core i7, Killer NIC.
Right, exactly. It comes with Core i7, Killer Ethernet processor. And in the new generation, we have switched out the standard Wi-Fi to Intel AC Wi-Fi. So it's got faster data transfer speeds and broader coverage. The keyboard also, as you can see, it's now full color backlit keys. Instead of the first generation single backlit color keys. So we have brought the full color keyboard to the GE series as well, from the GT series and the GS series. And we will also incorporate a new software to add a whole new level of customization for the keyboard and the whole user experience in general. Starting price point for G series is around $899 to $999. The high end one would be $1199.
Great, so that's the GE series, but they already have another gaming notebook that's super thin, super light, with no compromises. Let's check that out. So we have an award-winning gaming notebook here called the GS Stealth.
It is the thinnest and lightest 17-inch gaming notebook on the market to date. And as you can see just from the build, it looks really clean, really sleek. A lot of people would reference it to like a MacBook Pro, but like a gaming variation of that. And this has been probably one of our best-selling gaming laptops to date. At least upon initial launch, this thing really made a lot of noise in the market. So the GS70 Stealth really hits the point between form factor and performance. You don't lose that performance you want in regards to your gaming needs, but you have a very portable gaming laptop, and really changes the way people would think. Usually people would think of a gaming laptop being really heavy, can't carry it around, but the GS Stealth is our solution to change that idea.
And I guess one of the great features is that you can actually have triple SSDs in a RAID 0 configuration.
Correct. So the new generation will allow us to configure it up to 3 mSATA SSDs in RAID 0, plus a 1 terabyte hard drive. So you got the best of both worlds. You have the fast read and write speeds of the SSDs, plus the high capacity storage space of the 1 terabyte hard drive. And if you for comparing between the new generation GS and the current generation, we've also added a premium sound speaker system that has been used in our GT series line of gaming notebooks, and have applied it to the GS. So this is Sound by Dawn Audio. The actual audio sound would actually come out from the hinges here. We've added additional speakers in here. And so there are speakers in there, and there's a subwoofer right beneath the keyboard. So you have the bass and you have the high quality crisp sound from the audio speakers to replicate kind of like a theater experience.
And then with high performance, thermals and that kind of thing is always going to be a concern. So you've worked, seems like you have a different kind of air intake and outtake solution here?
Correct. So actually for the GS series, we went a completely new direction in regards to how we would dissipate heat. Intake comes in from the top and dissipates through the sides here. So it is a dual fan cooling solution. And the air doesn't just dissipate straight out. It actually dissipates at a 45-degree angle, so it doesn't burn your hand if you're playing, with your mouse or anything like that. So we really, we always try to think ahead and think about what would be the, design-wise, what's best for a gaming experience.
And with a premium gaming notebook like this, should people expect more of a premium price? What kind of price would we be expecting?
So, like all of our other series, we have various configurations, but at least for the GS series, we have it ranging from between $15.99 all the way up to $22.99 for next generation GS70 models. So yeah, it really depends on what you want in your system.
So that gives us a good look at the hardware side of things for the notebooks, but there's also a great software side with their partnership with Steelseries. Let's have a look at that. So then on the software side, you've partnered up with Steelseries to come up with a great solution there for macros and that kind of thing.
Steelseries Engine actually is already a technology that Steelseries has for their peripherals on the desktop side, but they are specifically working with us to include this engine in our next generation gaming series laptops. So before, in the current generation, you can only just change the keyboard colors, single color, multicolor, different functions like breathing or just wave style. But now with SteelSeries Engine, we add a much deeper level of customization for them. So what we can do now is every individual key on the keyboard can be programmed and key binded to do a certain action, whether it is opening a program, using any sort of abilities like in League of Legends, for example. First one, we've key binded numpad 1, for example, for QWER, the most commonly used keys in League of Legends for executing abilities. So if I just simply press 1, you'll see that QWER pops right out. In game, it would execute this according to the order you put it in, and we know like usually for games like League of Legends or Dota, abilities might not come out instantly. So what you can even do is you can determine the delay time between each action. So if you want W to come out a few milliseconds or a few seconds later after Q hits, you can even do that too. So even it goes that deep of how much you can actually customize the keys and actions you do. Even keybind text, like there's something you type often or in game that you don't want to spend time entering. You can even program that as well. So numpad 2, I put a random string of words in there. So you just press that out. It's like, well, hello there.
And I guess you can save and load different profiles for different games and applications.
Yes, you can. I'll show you right here too. In the properties here, you can actually program it so that for applications like, for instance, Battlefield 4, if you already pre-programmed specific keybinds for Battlefield 4 and saved it for this under this setting, whenever you launch Battlefield 4, those keybinds will load. And then you can add additional games, so anytime you play a different game like League of Legends, then it'll load those settings out for you. So yeah, it makes it very easy for you to just switch between games and not worry about having to keep constantly changing your keybinds. The color scheme as well, this is where you would change your color schemes from now on, is through the SteelSeries engine, and there's 4 different layers. Basically 4 different settings, and you have like active layers. You can switch between the layers. You have like multicolor, like different colors for the first setting. Second setting, you can have like you can change it from normal to gaming to breathing, wave, all sorts of possibilities. You can really do a lot now with the SteelSeries engine, and even just checking the statistics of which keys you use most frequently on the keyboard. It will tell you by color coding red will be the highest used or most frequently used key for whatever you're doing, and it just provides some sort of feedback so you get an understanding what you use the most.
We're here at the Cooler Master Suite at the Palms Hotel, and we just had a look at some great gaming laptops from MSI, and as powerful as they may be, there's always going to be an issue with them getting too hot. And Cooler Master has a long history of having some great notebook coolers, so they have some fresh new designs here, starting with the NotePal V100. It's more the entry-level kind of design. It's has 420mm fans. So it's a little bit more compact. You get the height adjustability, so you have all the basics that you need to cover to be able to cool down your laptop, and that's going to be retailing for only about $20. So it's one of the better deals. If you want more of a creative design, they have what they call the Battle Axe here. You get a few more features aside from the different design. It does have a giant 230mm fan. There's one of the biggest fans that they put in a notebook cooler, as well as the dial for the fan speed control. And on the other side here, there is a USB hub there, because then, you know, we're always going to have lots of peripherals, flash drives, mice, keyboards, and all that kind of stuff. And this one will be retailing for $29. The biggest and baddest of the bunch is the X Gear laptop cooler. It is going to be $39 and also has the 230mm fan with height adjustability with the interesting arm on the side here, as well as fan speed control and the USB hub as well. So that gives you a good overview of some of the laptop coolers here that they have at Cooler Master that are geared towards people with gaming laptops. But what about the DJs and the people on the Mac side? They have some great stands there, so let's have a look at that. So what you see here is the Cooler Master monitor stand. So most of us are spending 8, 10, 16 hours in front of our computers, and depending on the design of your desk, the monitor might not be at the right kind of eye level for you. So you get an adjustable stand here. It is definitely a Mac-inspired kind of design, but you get adjustable heights. You can put the monitor at the height that you want, as well as some extra shelving space there, so you can stash, you know, documents or whatever you need to put in there. It's a great, sleek design, simple, easy to use, and that's going to be retailing for $49. And they have two new stands here, the Jazz Music Pro and the Jazz Music Mobile. These are geared towards like the DJ crowd, so they're able to have a stylish way of putting their DJ equipment underneath here while still have easy access to their MacBook, because so many of them are using their MacBooks to manage the music now. So the Jazz Music Pro has more of like the flat design with the space underneath here. If you want something a little bit more creative, the Jazz Music Mobile goes with the X design. It's open and it's more open on the underside here for airflow and that kind of thing. So the Jazz Music Mobile is the cheaper of the two at $39, and the Jazz Music Pro is $79. So those are a couple of great aluminum stands here with Cooler Master at CES 2014. At the Steelseries suite, one of the brand new products that they have here is called the Steelseries Stratus. It is a mobile controller that works with iOS 7, and it works with all of the games that are controller enabled, and that's something that's been missing in the mobile space for a while now. That there's on Android, there are all kinds of different standards. You have trouble with pairing and controller mapping, that kind of thing. But now that there is a standard on iOS, it makes it a lot easier to have controllers like this that work with the games that you already love straight out of the box. So some of the key features on the Stratus here, you can see it's a very familiar layout for anybody coming from Xbox or PlayStation. You have the dual thumbsticks, the 4 face buttons, and the D-pad. These are all pressure sensitive, as well as the 4 trigger buttons on the top there. And it's a great size in that it's small enough to toss in your pocket, and that's a hard balance to find, because then we're used to having the larger controllers with our consoles, but you also want something that's small enough to fit in your pocket and take with you on the go. And one way that they've addressed that is with the plastic cover that actually fits on the back to make the controller a little bit thicker. So it gives you more of the ergonomics. You can see that there's a grip on the back there, so if I'm holding the controller, my fingers naturally rest in there. So that's the same kind of feel that you get with your console controllers, but this plastic cover can actually get flipped right off and put on top of the controller, so that when you are tossing the bag, I was initially concerned that, you know, the thumbsticks will get caught in your bag and you're gonna have troubles with the controller, but this way everything is protected, easy in tossing your bag, and as you can clearly see, it comes in your choice of black or white. It will retail for $99.99, and it'll be available at all the Apple stores towards the end of January. So great little controller for mobile gaming on the go. That's the Steelseries Stratus. One of the big stories here at the show is the unveiling of all the different Steam machines from the different companies. So we have the Gigabyte Bricks here, which is, you know, like a small kind of cube. And then we have the iBuyPower SBX, which looks much more like a console. And then you have other companies like Next and Material that look more like a home theater PC. And in our meeting with our friends from iBuyPower, that's really one of the big stories about SteamOS, is that it has become so fragmented and disjointed even before it's launched. The consumers don't really know what to expect because it's coming in all these different form factors. Some of them look more like a PC, some of them look more like a console, and it's creating a big problem in terms of getting the consumer to understand what exactly SteamOS is and why they would want to have a Steam machine instead of just gaming on their PC or picking up an Xbox One or a PS4. And in talking to iBuyPower, another big problem is that when you're talking about a traditional console like an Xbox or a PlayStation, Sony and Microsoft are actually losing money every time they sell a console. They make it on the software side of things. So the big challenge for the hardware manufacturers here is that they still need to turn a profit on the hardware because it's Steam that is going to be making money on the software side. So there's going to be a lot of challenges with SteamOS moving forward in the next year. I hope it takes off because it'll bring in another great competitor in the console space, getting you to be able to play your Steam games in the living room. And I really do think that iBuyPower's SPX is one of the best looking. It fits in with the kind of console look. With the glossy white, you could even say it's a little bit like a bigger Nintendo Wii. You can see the light strip that goes through here. The concept, or the almost ready to roll version that we saw, actually had a light button in the front that lets you cycle through the different colors. You can have it pulsing and all that kind of stuff. And they say that they're going to have their SPX ready to launch whenever SteamOS is ready. And we're thinking that's in the next month or so. The AMD version is going to be selling at $499. They're still working on whether or not they're going to go forward with an Intel version, but with SteamOS and all these different Steam machines, it's going to be a really exciting year for gaming. Unsurprisingly, gaming is a very big deal here at CES 2014, whether you want to play on your tablet, on a notebook, or even on the upcoming Steam machines. I'm Michael Kwan for MegaTech News. Thanks for watching, and we'll have episode 3 for you very soon.